I'm going to run through exit slip 26 answer key here. Again, make sure you're writing these as we go through them and listening here and making sure you understand this strategy. Okay, some of these problems do not have common denominators, so we're going to rewrite them using equivalent fractions if we need to, and use common denominator to help us solve this. Okay, so the first one, we've got 3/4 divided by 1/4. They already have a common denominator here. We know when we divide, we're making groups of 1/4 in this case. So we like to say it backwards. Sometimes we don't need to do any work. We can do these mentally, excuse me. So we could say, how many 1/4 does it take to get to 3/4? How many 1/4 make 3/4? And I know that answer is just 3. Okay, because I know that 3 of those 1/4 will get me 3/4. Now, if I've rewritten it again with this common denominator, though, we found out when the numbers get along, we can just divide across, just like we would multiply across when we multiply. So 3 divided by 1 is 3, and 4 divided by 4 is 1. And we'll always get 1 on that denominator, and 3 divided by 1 is 3. So again, if the numbers get along, we can just divide across. And even if they don't get along, we could still divide that top number, because the bottom number is always going to be 1 when I take the common denominator 4 divided by 4. So whatever on top, that's the answer. Okay, so that's a very simple explanation there. Next one, 4 divided by 1/2. And again, mentally, a lot of you could do this. You could say it backwards. How many 1/2 make 4? And we know that would be 8. But if we're doing the common denominator strategy, I'm going to use these equivalent fractions. And I know in this case I would want to get this 1 on the denominator here to get to a 2. So if I do that, I have to take the top times 2 as well, and I get 8/2. And we know 8/2 is the same as 4, so I didn't change any value. Again, say it backwards. How many 1/2 make 8/2? And the answer here would come up 8. Or I could divide across, and I'll rewrite it here so we can see it a little better. 8 divided by 1 is 8, and then 2 divided by 2 is 1. So we get that answer of 8. And common denominator strategy, just a little different way to think about it here. Okay, this one we've got 16/6 divided by 2/3. And to get the common denominator, I can get that 3 to a 6. So all I need to do is double that. So I double it here, and I get 4/6. And I know 4/6 is equivalent to 2/3. So to go through here, again, I could say it backwards. How many 4/6 does it take to get to 16/6? Again, the numbers match up here really well. Okay, so we could do it mentally. We have 4/6. Another one is 8/6, then 12/6, then 16/6. So that would take 4 of these to get to here. Or I can just divide across. 16 divided by 4 is 4 over 1. So I know the answer is 4. And then the last one, if it's improper, like 2.5, okay, I can change that to 5/2 and divide that by 5/6. If I make that common denominator, I'm going to multiply this by 3 and this by 3, so I could change it to 15/6, which is equivalent to 5/2 or 2.5. And then I can say it backwards again. How many 5/6 can I get out of 15/6? Well, 5/6 is 1. If I do another 5/6, that's 10/6. If I do another one, that's 15/6. So I know I can get 3 groups of this. And again, if I divide across, I can prove it. 15 divided by 5 is 3 over 1, which is just 3. So here's another way here to be thinking about how we can divide fractions.